Ever wondered why rich nations owe trillions but you're told to stay debt-free? This question sits at the heart of a fascinating paradox. The richest nations on earth, the ones with skyscrapers that scrape the heavens and economies that dwarf others, are also the most indebted. It's an intriguing dichotomy, isn't it? On one hand, we're constantly advised to live within our means, to save more, and to avoid debt like a plague. On the other hand, the world's most prosperous economies seem to operate on a completely different principle. They borrow and they owe. They owe in the trillions. It's like seeing a billionaire on a borrowing spree while you're told to keep your credit card locked away. It's puzzling, it's counterintuitive, and it's the way our world works. So why does this apparent contradiction exist? Let's delve a little deeper. To understand this, we first need to understand what government debt actually is. Unlike the kind of debt you or I might accumulate from buying a car or a house, government debt is not necessarily a bad thing. You see, when a government borrows money, it's not because they've overspent on credit cards or taken out too many loans. Instead, they're investing in the country's future. This might mean funding infrastructure projects, education, or healthcare. These investments can stimulate economic growth, create jobs, and improve the quality of life for its citizens. So think of government debt more like a student loan, a necessary investment for a brighter, more prosperous future. It's a strategic tool used to fuel growth and development. And unlike personal debt, which can lead to financial hardship if not managed properly, government debt can actually stimulate growth and prosperity. So, while personal debt can lead to financial ruin, government debt can stimulate growth and prosperity. But how do governments use debt strategically? Well, let's unfold this mystery. Governments often borrow money for a myriad of reasons. This borrowed money, or debt, is used to fund various projects, whether they be infrastructure development, healthcare advancements, or educational reforms. You see, these projects are not just about building bridges or hospitals. They're about stimulating the economy. By pumping money into these ventures, governments can create jobs, increase spending, and boost economic growth. But that's not all. Debt can also be a handy tool in managing inflation. By controlling the flow of money in the economy, governments can prevent prices from skyrocketing or plummeting, maintaining a balanced and stable economic environment. The repayment of this debt? Well, it usually spans over many years, often trickling down to future generations. But remember, this is not a burden, but a strategic move for long-term prosperity. In essence, governments use debt as a tool to ensure the well-being of their citizens and the growth of their economies. But why are individuals advised to stay out of debt while nations thrive on it? This question might have crossed your mind. Well, the answer lies in the risks and benefits associated with debt. For individuals, debt often comes with high interest rates and the constant pressure of repayment. Unlike governments, individuals cannot raise revenue through taxation to pay off their debts. This leaves them vulnerable to financial instability and even bankruptcy if the debt is not managed properly. Contrastingly, governments strategically use debt to stimulate economic growth, fund public services, and manage the economy. With the power to levy taxes and issue bonds, governments have a wider array of tools to manage and repay their debts. However, it's not a one-size-fits-all situation. Just as nations use debt strategically, individuals too can leverage debt wisely to achieve their financial goals. So while debt may be a strategic tool for nations, for individuals, it's a risk that should be managed carefully.